aqua friends, welcome to my channel. Today I have a very fun sparkly ocean for you with a palm tree, and this is pretty much a one-layer painting. I am wetting both the back and the front of my paper so that we have lots of time to do the ocean waves and the bokeh technique. So I'm using a hacky brush to put in my colors. I have some various blues and turquoises, and I will put all of the colors that I used in the description of this video. I have some cobalt green, horizon blue, peacock blue, and viridian are some of the colors I used. Also marine blue. And for the waves, I'm using a calligraphy brush. It holds a lot of water, and it's gonna allow me to really play around with these beach waves so that everything is nice and soft and I don't have to worry about making any blooms. So I'm just freehanding this and getting my horizon line in, bringing that turquoise down, glazing the whole ocean with it. And then the darker blues for the waves. Now I'm going to start on the light on the ocean, like I see in the reference photo. I'm using a circular sponge, and I am sopping up the excess water. I do rinse off my sponge in water, but I'm always dabbing it on my napkin so that I don't make a bloom. I want to pick up the pigment and leave behind these nice white marks. Now, some of these paints are more staining than others. The viridian hue is quite staining. Where I didn't put too much viridian hue, you can see that the colors are picking up a lot better, especially in those really light parts. So I keep an eye on my reference photo. I'm trying to see where the really bright white spots are and try to get those pretty light in my painting as well. Now, your paper will be a lot more fragile because it's so wet. So lift up what you can, and when it's not lifting anymore, you're going to have to let that whole thing dry before we could go back and try to lift up a little bit more. So just putting in the tree on that left-hand side, this palm tree, and getting some of those darker ridges and textures in there as well. For these colors, I did use transparent brown from Danielle Smith, as well as sepia. For the palm leaves, I did use green gold sap green, and shadow green. And I'm using my Black Velvet Series number 6 brush to do the palm fronds. I'm using my hand to rest my arm on so that I don't smear what I've already done on that left-hand side. I don't know why my brain does not make me paint right to left. Since I'm left-handed, that's what I should be doing. But I never do that. And so then I always have to use my hand. So if you're impatient and don't want to wait for something to dry like me, you can rest your arm on your hand, and you'll still be able to have a very steady hand to continue painting. So I'm varying my colors as I go along, adding a little bit more sap green and darker green. Now I've picked up my script liner brush to do some very fine lines here of some drier parts of the leaves. So working more on the bark, darkening things up, and I'm just using a piece of old card to scrape in some texture. Now that my painting is completely dry, I'm going to try to lift up a little bit more, and I'm doing that with a very tiny piece of magic eraser and tweezers. So I'm not going to go over all of them. I just want some of those bokeh highlights to be lighter and try to get back as close to the paper white as I can. This is a super fun summer project to do. So just continue to lift up as many of the dots that you want. And then sign your painting. You guys are done. You just created a masterpiece. Congratulations. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.